Prime Minister Modi in Ladakh.
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय.
Shock and awe moment by Prime Minister Modi. Loud and clear message to Xi.
विस्तारवाद का युग समाप्त हो चुका है. इतिहास गवाह है कि ऐसी ताकतें मिट गई हैं या मुड़ने के लिए मजबूर हो गई.
But Prime Minister's visit turns political fodder. Rahul hurls lying jibe. BJP hits back at Congress's charge. Politics over Prime Minister's visit. Top focus on To The Point.
All right, so that is the top focus on To The Point this evening. It was a shock and awe moment. It was a moment which was pretty much loaded with symbolism of the Prime Minister going and talking directly to the man on the front line fighting the Chinese in Ladakh. Nobody quite knew that the Prime Minister was going to Ladakh. It was a visit scheduled for the Defence Minister. But late last evening, that visit was cancelled by Mr. Rajnath Singh, and suddenly you got visuals, and nobody quite knew that he was going to go, of the Prime Minister landing and meeting the troops in Galwan. Well, it did turn political. It had to turn political because the entire face-off with China has been political back at home. Now, what did the do today? Two things. Of the Prime Minister not being transparent when it comes down to what exactly happened at Galwan, and also how much territory, if at all, the Chinese have of India. The other thing they said, that in his address, which many said was strong, was motivating, and also talked to the Chinese without naming the Chinese. So the other issue that the Congress had today was that he didn't name the Chinese in that address. This is how it played out politically.
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय.
18 days after the Galwan standoff, Prime Minister Narendra Modi sent out the strongest message to China so far.
लेह लद्दाख से लेकर करगिल और सियाचिन तक, रेजांगला की बर्फीली चोटियां से लेकर गलवान घाटी के ठंडे पानी की धारा तक भारतीय सैनिकों के पराक्रम की गवाही देते हैं.
The Ladakh visit, however, has triggered a massive political war.
भारत माता की वंदे.
In a tweet, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi accused Prime Minister Modi of not coming clean on Chinese incursions. He tweeted a video of people from Ladakh alleging intrusion.
This is the deadliest clash in nearly 50 years.
आप सब लोगों को पता है हमारी जमीनें हमसे जबरदस्ती छीना जा रहा है.
BJP's Sambit Patra countered Rahul Gandhi with another video claiming that the Congress MP passed off Congress workers as locals. Congress leaders were quick to follow Rahul's cue. Manish Tiwari said Indira Gandhi sliced Pakistan into two after her Leh visit. Now the nation awaits Prime Minister Modi's action. The BJP hit back at Congress.
It's just not the soldiers who have been praised and the brave soldiers, the martyrs, have been remembered. It's also a straight message to China that it's the Prime Minister of India who has said that हमारे शहीदों का बलिदान व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा. And I'm sure this is what the Prime Minister meant there.
Is the border the right place for making large pronouncements of policy? That's something that government should consider. As far as our brave men are concerned, they will do what is the best for the country.
The Congress questioned the need for an unannounced visit.
is always believe in the concept of surprising. Chinese intruders must be evicted, lock, stock and barrel from the occupied land of our country.
The party also targeted the Prime Minister for not naming China in his address to the soldiers.
प्रधानमंत्री किसको मैसेज दे रहे हैं? नाम तो उन्होंने चीन का नहीं लिया है। जिस तरह पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ लंबी लंबी बातें करते हैं प्रधानमंत्री, चीन का नाम लेने से क्यों घबराते हैं?
Since the India-China standoff started about 2 months back, government has been put under the dock by the opposition seeking answers. The opposition has been saying that the government has not given out exact details of what the situation on the line of actual control is. And once again, as the Prime Minister made a surprise visit to Ladakh, politics over his visit has started again. With camera person Satya, Abhishek Bhalla in Leh for India Today.
So the question is, why the politics? Because what went down today, at least in Ladakh, with the Prime Minister talking directly to the men in uniform, the men who've pretty much laid down their lives in the highest traditions of the Indian Army to honor them. Politically, you really couldn't find anything wrong with it. So what is it that the Congress is right now talking about? And somewhere, strangely, it finds itself painted in a corner with no other opposition party standing next to it. Let's take it further. I have with me Aishwarya Mahadev from the Congress and R.P. Singh from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Aishwarya, one can ask the government questions because one should. One can ask for transparency because one should. Today, what was it that was so wrong with the Prime Minister going to the front line, talking to the men who fought, in that face-off, honouring those who fell? Why the politics?
Preeti, let's make one thing very clear, right? We have absolutely no problem with the Prime Minister going to Ladakh instead of the Raksha Mantri, because that seems to or be happening a lot of times. But the problem is not with him going there. It's not with his speech. It is not with his lung capacity. It is not even with him raising the morale whatsoever of the armed forces, because this has been done by Prime Ministers time and time again. And I must say his speech was great. It doesn't raise a knocker anywhere close to the 71 speech of Mrs. Gandhi, but that is my personal opinion. The politics is not about that. We're saying when you're going to visit the forces, there are a few things you should be doing. And Preeti, I want to bring out these two very important things. First and foremost, I believe when you're the Prime Minister of the nation, the onus is on you to be transparent. Till date, we do not have a clarification from the man himself about what is the level of incursion, what is the territory that has been taken, and to what extent has the Indian Army been able to push back? Because we're getting news of 423 meters of intrusion happening. We're seeing signs in Mandarin. We as the common citizens, not even the Congress, it's just the people of this nation who have a democratic right to ask. We're asking you that, first thing. Second thing, Preeti, I think the most important thing, and a lot of my colleagues and other spokespersons have been talking about, is that the speech was absolutely fabulous. Yes, there was rhetoric, there was the power, there was the force, everybody was reminded of the Chappan inch and the Lalang. But tell me what you're going to do next. I'm very clearly reminded of when Mr. Churchill asked Attlee and said, you cannot negotiate with a tiger with your head in its mouth. What are you going to do next? We are saying at this point, you need to take decisive, strong action besides just a speech where you cannot even name your enemy. And you need to take action where the Chinese are left with a bloody nose and we push them back. And this is what we're asking. The politics is about, there's no politics at all, honestly speaking. We're asking and speaking up for what has not been revealed to the nation as it rightly should have been.
Okay.
To be very honest.
Aishwarya, there's enough politics, so let's not say that there is no politics, because in this 1.5 minute where you've spoken, you've politicized it enough. Nobody's saying it's right or wrong. That's for our viewers to judge. But having said that, as I bring in R.P. Singh, I want to ask you, Aishwarya, not saying anything to the Chinese, do you not reckon that maybe using the line and saying that the age of expansionism is over, it's the age of development, isn't that a strong message enough?
When he's alluding to all of that, why is it that the man who before coming to power said, La Lang, Chappan inch, we're going to tell them what to do, and indulge in basically swing sessions and walks on the beach with the Chinese premier, cannot name the enemy? You're banning apps You're basically saying, oh, I'm not going to be on Weibo anymore. But you cannot go up there and say India is going to give an apt response to China. How hard is that? Because that is also demoralizing, because Indian soldiers have been slaughtered and martyred by the Chinese. You name the enemy, you shame the enemy, you put them as your target, and then you act. That is decisive Indian policy that should be
Okay, can I now bring in, I'd like to bring in RP Singh in this debate. RP Singh, I want to bring you in this debate. The point is not about a morale boosting speech. It's not about a surprise visit, which is great, welcomed by all. It's about what Aishwarya says, transparency, and primarily naming the enemy. You talk about everything but refusing to name China. Is that needed? Is that so important that you need to do it?
Preeti, before I answer that, I heard Aishwarya saying that they have read some board in Mandarin. That's the problem. That's the key problem. Rahul Gandhi and his team and his friends and colleagues only read Mandarin. And that's why I tweeted today in Mandarin that he can read and understand, because after signing that MOU in 2008, which they have signed, which are not there, they have not made public till date, Mr. Rahul Gandhi doesn't utter a word against China. Rather, he asks and forces people to delete the tweets which by chance they put on China. So this is their policy. And she rightly said they can very clearly read boards and signboards on Mandarin. But coming back to the issue of what Prime Minister did today, I mean, Prime Minister categorically stated, and it is not only moral boosting, it is complete, saying that complete 130 crore people are behind you and we are giving you free hand. He said, I'm getting you arms, I'm getting you everything which is required, ammunition, everything which is required to give a befitting reply. And to whom is going to give whom the forces are going to give a befitting reply? Whom are they fighting against?
Mr. Singh, we've lost your video feed. Mr. Singh, we've lost your video feed. While we try and reconnect that, I want to go back to Aishwarya. Aishwarya, what was the whole issue? Because you've had Rahul Gandhi, who's put out a flurry of video tweets with Ladakhis contradicting possibly what the government is saying. But talking about that, the Bharatiya Janata Party has made that very clear. Most of these people are from your own political outfit, which is the Congress. Isn't that egg on face?
First things first, whether I'm from the Congress, the BJP or the JDS or any party, I am still an Indian and I can speak up. And these are people from Ladakh. It's not like they're from Tamil Nadu or Uttar Pradesh. But let me also say, even if you want to completely discredit an entire range of videos, including army veterans themselves who are still in Ladakh, you will also have to see that there are a lot of news reports coming out from BJP councillors themselves, right? You should ask Mr. RP Singh why Mr. Konchak stands in. Urgen Chandan and Tashi Nyamgal have been talking about loss of pasture land in their council areas, in their block development areas, because the Chinese seem to be taking over. This is an issue that has existed time and time again. And first, you cannot fault whether I'm from the Congress or anything from raising issues of what I see on the ground. It is not egg on the face, but if you do not believe, because you believe all of them are Congress functionaries, then look at what the BJP present councillors are saying. If BJP councillors can give us the truth of what is happening, why is the Prime Minister who heads it all not able to do the same? That's all we're asking.
All right, okay. Can I get RP Singh to respond? We have him back. RP Singh, respond. I know you want to come in. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know whether you heard the first part. Again, I'll repeat part of it. But the problem is they can't go beyond Mandarin and they read only Mandarin.
No, we heard the first part. Mr. Singh, we heard the first part.
Thank you. And now let me take it further. And why can't they take a stand for the country? Why they have to always show that they are against the country, whether it was the surgical strike, whether it was Balakot. Every time they have raised question on army's valor and what army is done. Even now they are raising question on how many people our Indian soldiers martyred, but they're not talking about how many people, how many army men of the China has been killed. I mean, they're not talking about their report. They speak of various other reports, but they will not speak of this report of which says that 43 Chinese were killed, because they want to demean the army, they want to demoralize the army. And also, ma'am, as for the BJP councillors, I'll send you the video of the BJP councillors, which categorically state that all those pasture land we lost during Congress regime. From between 2004 and 2014, we lost 640 kilometers of land.
Preeti.
Okay, all right, but Mr. Singh, I want to just come in on that. Being an army officer's, one second, being an army officer's daughter who's fought 2 wars, I have to add, Mr. Singh, that the army is not above board. If the army needs to be questioned in a democracy, it should be questioned in a democracy. You cannot blindly trust the army or any outfit. That is not the job of journalists to do. But having said that, I want to take this question to Aishwarya. Aishwarya, the timing. Yes, so that's what I was asking. The timing of it all, Aishwarya, at this point of time, if you see yourself, which is the other political outfit or political party which is actually attacking the government at this juncture where China is concerned? One of its biggest betas, Mamata Banerjee, is also standing in line with the Prime Minister today. Your own allies, talk about the NCP, Sharad Pawar, when that all-party meeting took place with China, actually voiced support for the government and the Prime Minister. The Congress seems to have completely been painted into a corner on this.
You cannot conflate the two. Let's be honest, categorically, from when the issue began, we were one of the first parties to ask for an all-party meet from the all-benevolent Prime Minister. We were the party that have said we categorically stand with the armed forces. But however, being a responsible opposition, we also want to get more clarity. What were the questions we asked, Preeti? We said, how did our Jawans die? What was the level of incursion? How were they able to get makeshift weapons? What was the, what was the throwback? What was the information about build-ups and whatnot? We stand with the army, and let us make this very clear. You cannot conflate the disposition of the day with the armed forces, because by that logic, every time the BJP insults Pandit Nehru over 62, they're insulting the armed forces themselves. Let's not get into that. What we're saying is this: we will stand with the army. I am telling you now, go to war if you have to. Throw them back, give them a bloody nose, show them what our armed forces are made up of. And you are the daughter of a Jawan, and I'm very certain that you understand that this is where all control should be ceded to the armed forces. Do that. But I'm saying, do not, under the guise of being this strong man with your 56-inch and your lal aankh, shame the army by inaction, by taking economic action and dallying.
Aishwarya, before I go back to RP Singh, I want to ask you, why is it that the Congress is the only voice in this? Why is it that your own allies don't have your back? Why is it that likes of Mamata Banerjee, who take on the government in every issue today, are not standing behind you but are standing with the government? Why is it that you're all alone?
We stand with the government if they want to take decisive action. 59 apps are not a proportionate response to the 20 Jawans that were clobbered and martyred. Please tell me 59 obscure apps being even proportionate. The Prime Minister got off Weibo. Oh my goodness, the world is coming to an end. No, that is not proportionate. We're saying we stand with the government if they take strong enough actions. If the others are not standing with me, it does not matter. I will stand alone for the path of the truth and the path of democracy and what I believe is right for my nation.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. RP Singh.
We have taken the country through everything. So hopefully
fair enough.
RP Singh will tell.
I want to get in RP Singh for a final comment now. RP Singh, what is wrong? Even if it's a democracy. The Congress is the opposition. Why shouldn't it keep asking questions? They are representing the people as well. That is the job of the opposition, is to ask questions, ask for transparency and the way forward, which one has to say the government has been opaque on most of it.
Preeti, you know, even after Kargil, there was a complete inquiry which happened, which went into detail and everything was present, was tabled in the parliament. One. Secondly, the problem is, you say there are other opposition parties. There are other opposition parties are established opposition leaders now, whether Sharad Pawar or Mamata Banerjee. Problem is they have to relaunch Rahul Gandhi, and they are using this as a platform. They are stabbing the army at the back to relaunch Mr. Rahul Gandhi. That's the problem. That's the issue. And I'm again saying, the day they will make 2008 document public, we'll talk. From there then they should talk, not before that.
All right, okay. I appreciate you both for joining us. Thank you. I would reckon the politics will continue, but at least what did go down today was a strong message in terms of to the man who's fighting in Ladakh as of now. The men who fell, 20 of them. And talking directly to the men in uniform is a great idea. The politics will continue, but yes, one also needs to ask, what's the way forward? How are we actually going to react right now? Thank you both for joining us. I want to quickly shift focus. A lot was said today. If you're talking about the shock and awe moment of the Prime Minister in Ladakh, there was a shock and awe moment in the medical industry across the world. Because strangely, the ICMR, along with Bharat Biotech, an indigenous company, has said that they're going to come out with a vaccine by the 15th of August. Well, usually vaccines take years in the making. How is it that they're doing it so quickly? Because we just want to take you through the process of the time that a vaccine takes from lab to the clinic. Take a look.
As COVID-19 exploded globally, the world raced towards a vaccine. However, the development cycle of a vaccine from a lab to a clinic can take years. The fastest has been the swine flu vaccine that took 2 years to perfect. The vaccine testing process is complicated. The first stage is preclinical testing. Scientists give the vaccine to animals to see if it produces an immune response. The next stage is phase 1 safety trials. Scientists give vaccine to a small number of people to test safety and dosage, as well as to confirm that it stimulates the immune system. Then is phase 2 expanded trials. Scientists give the vaccine to hundreds of people split into groups such as children and the elderly to see if the vaccine acts differently in them. This is followed by phase 3 efficacy trials. Scientists give vaccine to thousands of people and wait to see how many become infected compared with volunteers who received a placebo. These trials can determine if vaccine protects against the coronavirus. Final stage is approval. Regulators in each country review the trial results and decide whether to approve the vaccine or not. During a pandemic, a vaccine may receive emergency use authorization before getting formal approval. Also in a pandemic, there can be clubbing, combined phases. Another way to accelerate vaccine development is to combine the phases. Some coronavirus vaccines are now in phase 1 or 2 of trials, for example, in which they are tested for the first time on hundreds of people. Researchers around the world are developing more than 145 vaccines against the coronavirus, and 20 vaccines are in human trial stage. Vaccines typically require years of research and testing before reaching the clinic. So it was a shock and awe moment when Bharat Biotech, in partnership with Indian Council of Medical Research, announced that Kovaxin, an indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, was being developed in partnership and would be released as early as next month compared to the earlier target of December this year. This vaccine is currently in phase 1 and 2 of trials. However, the other two vaccines generating a lot of interest are phase 2 Moderna. Moderna's vaccine dazzled the stock market in May with phase 1 data on just 8 people, only to see its stock price drop when experts had a lukewarm reaction to the results. The vaccine uses messenger RNA to produce viral proteins. The American company is eyeing phase 3 trials in July and hopes to have vaccine doses ready by early 2021. Phase 2 and phase 3. AstraZeneca, University of Oxford. A vaccine in development by British-Swedish company AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford. A vaccine in development by British-Swedish company AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford is based on a chimpanzee adenovirus called ChAdOx1. The vaccine is in phase 2-3 trial in England and phase 3 trials in Brazil and South Africa. The project may deliver emergency vaccines by October. In June, AstraZeneca said their total manufacturing capacity stands at 2 billion doses. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.